How did you cope with your own stress during the early recovery period?
Dealing with my own stress during the recovery period, I was too busy. I kept my mind on taking care of my wife. Like I said, picking everybody's brain, trying to learn as much as I could about her situation, what to expect, the bumps in the road, the good times, the bad times. So I really didn't have a lot of stress. I didn't feel a lot of stress when I was taking care of her. I was primarily focused on taking care of her. There was times afterwards, not initially, but afterwards, that I had to deal with, some stress. I would take breaks. My daughter would come up here and spend a day with my wife, give me a day off, to go home, take care of the animals, take care of the house, take care of just the normal things that we do at home. And that was, to me, was very relaxing. And being as we lived a ways from the hospital, just the drive gave me a chance to relax, not having to be in this atmosphere. Just that helped quite a bit.
Again, I never felt that way. I was just so happy that he was doing well and had his new lung, and, I never felt stressed out. Just didn't.
I did not do a very good job of coping with my stress during the early recovery period. I was having anxiety attacks and panic attacks. I put more on my shoulders than I should have. I have about 3 part-time jobs, and I thought I would be able to do those as well as take care of Greg. What I did do is I went back to my routine of going to the gym 3 times a week, just making that, I'm going to do it. Couldn't always do it, but I wanted to get back into our routine. I went back to going to our women's Bible study, so I started doing things for me that would build me up and support me. And probably a good thing to have done would have been to say to like my job, I'm really not ready to come back and catch up on those things. But again, just for me, I needed to talk to people about my experience, and just kind of it's all internalized. It's all internalized, and then it comes to that point where it's got to come out. So you've got to take care of yourself and find somebody that you can talk to about it, especially if I realize our situation was different from somebody who had a 2-week hospital stay or a 1 week. But when you have the kind of experience we did, and so I let let people bring you meals. If they want to bring you meals, let them bring you meals. Just receive all the help anybody wants to give you.
How did I cope with my own stress? I'll read you from my journal. This was 3 days after Daryl's surgery. And I write, how am I feeling? I am tired. I'm a little worried. I'm happy, but I'm a little sad that this had to happen to Daryl. I'm grateful and I'm hopeful. I can't imagine life without my Daryl. I need to eat better to stay healthy. I get scared at times. I feel like crying, but then I get tough, and I tell myself, if Daryl can handle it, so can I. We're a team. We'll get through this. We have to. So that's how I did it.
I think I just kept during the recovery period, I think I just kept coming up here and then staying as busy as possible. Again, rest is a big key for the caregiver. And reaching out to friends and family and talking to people. There's a great support group here, so that helped a lot.
This is where having 2 caregivers was really beneficial, because when I felt stress or I felt like I needed a break or just to walk outside and get some fresh air, I could do that because my dad was there with her. And him the same way. When he felt like he couldn't, tell her what to do anymore, and she was getting frustrated because she felt like we were telling her what to do, he could take a break, and we both still had to work, so we had those kind of required breaks in between where he would go to work or I would go to work and the other one would stay behind. So we didn't feel stress that we couldn't cope with in some way because there were two of us there. And when we did need to take a break, we did. If it was just to go outside and take a walk, we did that. If it was to go for a drive, we did that. If it was to focus on work for a few minutes, we did that. And she was good with that because we had two people there.
I don't think I even noticed any stress. I was so concerned with her, and I was so concerned that I was doing all the right things, and I was learning all the time, and knowing that she's a very strong person, and she has her own way of doing things. I think I was so concerned with meshing with her and making sure that we were on the correct path and we were going in the correct direction that I never really thought about it. I just, put one foot in front of the other and did what needed to be done.
Coping with stress during the early recovery period was not such a big deal. I was so busy that I didn't really think about stress. It seemed like I got up in the morning and the next thing I knew I was going to bed. As time went on, I knew I needed to get outside and walk a little bit, so I tried to do that each day, just getting some fresh air. We also, after a week of being discharged, we brought our two little dogs down, and they stayed with us, and they're very good with de-stressing us. So those were my main areas.
During the early recovery period, I coped with my own stress by taking advantage of the help that people would give me. A lot of friends would make meals, bring them over. People would offer to come and stay with my husband to give me a chance to go out and take a walk, go get my nails done, just to have time to myself. And also in the afternoon was kind of a quiet time, so I would really take that time to just sit down, read, relax, just take that time for myself.
My stress level was, I was okay until Tom, the medication caused an issue, and I thought I was handling it really well. I picked up the phone that day and I called my mom and I started crying because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't control things. I couldn't change things. I think you have to have someone to talk to, someone to help you realize it's going to be okay. Take a breath. You'll get through this. And that was my way of dealing with my stress. I would call my son or I would call my mom, and they'd just kind of talk to him, and they'd say, this is all going to be worth it when you get through with everything. And it has been worth it.